Welcome to the World News. Let's explore today's top international headlines. First, let's dive into what's making news around the globe.
Trump declares America is back. Trump issues final warning to Hamas. Trump announces retaliatory tariffs against India and other nations at the U.S. President Donald Trump has strongly criticized the extremely unfair tariffs imposed by India. Trump declares America is back in his first congressional address of second term. His first address to Congress after assuming the U.S. presidency for a second term, Donald Trump declared, "America is back." His speech on Tuesday came just 6 weeks into his new term, following significant shifts in U.S. foreign policy, the re-emergence of trade wars, and the dismissal of thousands of government employees. Trump appeared energized during his address, highlighting the changes his administration had already implemented. On this historic occasion, Trump delivered one of the longest speeches by a U.S. president in modern history. His address gained global attention, especially as it followed his administration's decision to suspend military aid to Ukraine, a move that signaled a major shift in U.S. foreign policy. Just last Friday, a heated exchange between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office was followed by Washington's announcement of the aid suspension. The Trump administration's decision has put Ukraine's efforts to resist Russian aggression at serious risk. Russia began its military invasion of Ukraine 3 years ago, and until now, the Biden administration had provided unwavering support to Ukraine. This sudden shift in U.S. policy has raised concerns that Trump may be aligning more closely with Russia. During his lengthy speech, Trump spent only a few minutes discussing foreign policy. However, he hinted at advancing a mineral trade agreement with Ukraine, a deal that had been delayed following his contentious meeting with Zelensky. Trump also commented on relations with Russia, stating, "At the same time, we have had important discussions with Russia, and we have received strong indications that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be wonderful?" Trump issues final warning to Hamas, demands release of Israeli hostages U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a final warning to the Palestinian armed group Hamas, demanding the release of all Israeli hostages held in Gaza and urging Hamas leaders to leave the territory. According to separate reports from Al Jazeera and the BBC on Thursday, March 6, President Trump made this strong statement amid ongoing tensions in Gaza. The Republican leader's warning comes at a critical moment when the White House has, for the first time since 1997, confirmed direct negotiations with Hamas regarding the release of Israeli and American hostages, as well as efforts to end the war in Gaza. Gaza under siege, amid food shortages. Meanwhile, Israel has imposed a strict blockade on Gaza, worsening the humanitarian crisis. Palestinians in the region are facing extreme food shortages, with skyrocketing prices making essentials unaffordable. The World Food Programme, WFP, has warned that their remaining food supplies may run out in less than 2 weeks, exacerbating the already dire situation. Trump's stern message to Hamas and Gaza residents. Amid this crisis, President Trump took to social media on Wednesday, issuing a strongly worded ultimatum to Hamas and the people of Gaza. "This is your final warning. Hamas leaders, the time has come for you to leave Gaza while you still have the chance," Trump wrote in his post. He further addressed the people of Gaza, stating, "A bright future awaits you, but not if you continue to hold hostages. If you make the wrong choice, you will pay the ultimate price. Be smart and act wisely." U.S.-Hamas talks mark a historic shift, according to Al Jazeera. Trump's statement came just hours after the White House confirmed its direct engagement with Hamas. U.S. envoy Adam Bowler is currently in Doha, Qatar, holding talks with Hamas officials. This direct U.S.-Hamas dialogue is a historic shift in American foreign policy, as Washington has never before engaged in direct negotiations with the group. The U.S. government officially designated Hamas as a terrorist organization in 1997 and has since maintained a policy of non-engagement. With escalating tensions and an intensifying humanitarian crisis, The world watches closely to see how Hamas and Gaza's leadership will respond to Trump's warning. Trump announces retaliatory tariffs against India and other nations as the U.S. President Donald Trump has strongly criticized the extremely unfair tariffs imposed by India and several other countries, announcing retaliatory tariffs in response. Speaking before a joint session of Congress on Tuesday, Trump declared that the new tariffs will take effect from April 2nd, according to reports from BBC and Al Jazeera. Tit-for-tat tariffs to counter foreign trade policies. During his speech, President Trump stated that he intends to impose tariffs on foreign imports at the same rate that those countries levy on U.S. exports. For decades, other countries have taken advantage of us through unfair trade tariffs. Now it's our turn to do the same to them, Trump said. Acknowledging that this move could lead to increased prices, he reassured the public that any inconvenience would be manageable. The president vowed to tax all foreign imports, including automobiles and spare parts. If you don't manufacture your products in America, you will have to pay a tariff. In some cases, the tariffs will be quite high, he added. Targeting India, China, and other nations, Trump specifically named countries that impose higher tariffs on U.S. goods, saying, "Have you heard of the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada? These and many other countries impose much higher tariffs on us. This is extremely unfair." Citing India as an example, he stated, "India imposes over 100% tariffs on our cars." Direct warning to Indian PM Modi. Trump emphasized that the U.S. must confront unfair trade practices and announced that his administration would soon impose retaliatory tariffs on India, China, and other countries. He also revealed that he had directly communicated this stance to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his recent Washington visit, making it clear that India would be affected by the new policy. "No one can argue with me on this," Trump asserted. Tariffs to match foreign trade barriers starting April 2. The U.S. will mirror the tariff rates imposed by other nations. If they impose a tariff on us, we will impose the same tariff on them. If they set trade barriers to block our market access, we will do the same to them, Trump warned. Global stock markets plunge amid trade war fears following the announcement and the implementation of tariffs on Chinese, Canadian, and Mexican imports. Global stock markets suffered a major downturn. Trump has imposed 25% tariffs on goods imported from Canada, and Mexico 20% tariffs on imports from China. In response, Canada and China have announced counter tariffs on U.S. products, and Mexico has indicated it will follow suit, escalating fears of a full-scale trade war. This turmoil has led to sharp declines in the top 3 U.S. stock market indices. The impact has also rippled across Asian stock markets, with analysts warning that the tariffs will increase household expenses in the U.S. and affect consumers worldwide, including in the U.K. In the coming days, the prices of goods such as strawberries, avocados, and bananas are expected to rise significantly due to the new trade measures.